Hey, what's up, everybody? Sunset Streamer here. Been a minute, but epic rant on the way. Did you see the Olympics? What did you think about it? Now, I've been looking very forward to this one because it was going to be Breaking's debut at this global event. And I'm just going to share my unfiltered thoughts on the whole situation. And to start off, I have to say many thank yous to the hardworking dancers and organizers behind the scenes who, for years, decades, put immeasurable effort into getting something that they loved on that stage. Now, the art of breaking is massive. And from the ciphers to the training to just hip hop culture, and to now condense that into something that you can commercialize for the Olympics. Because if you just look at the business structure of the Olympics, it's not as glamorous as it looks on stage. At the end of the day, it's a business. And what the cities and organizers invest in, they want something to, something to get out of it. So it is for money. If you're an organizer, though. Now, if you're an athlete, it's a different sort of story. So many athletes have dedicated their lives to achieving, mastery of a particular art form to compete at the highest level of competition, to just to be called an Olympian and, stand on that podium and represent their country. So that's a completely other story. So I'm just giving you some context first for where I'm trying to go. So generally, the expectation is massive. Put a lot of money in, global stage, big opening ceremony, carrying on tradition, dedication, mastery of craft. That's the general, idea that they have in mind. Cool. And for a while, breaking to receive just acceptance into the mainstream has also been a very long-standing struggle of how, at least for me, the type of hip hop that breaking for me is like underground. At least when I got into it. And I have a deep love and adoration and respect for breaking. And breaking is so relatable to so many different people in different ways. And not just the breaking struggle, but now women in hip hop is a completely other struggle, which you'd have to ask a woman who's been in hip hop to talk about it. I don't even feel I'm qualified to talk about it. I can only sit on the outside and imagine what it's like. But when I got into breaking, it was something so hard to come by. Where if you met another dancer or someone else who was interested in it, you were like, wow, you're one of the others. You're like me. Are you also into it? Where can we get more of it? And there wasn't high-speed internet at the time. Dial-up internet was kind of just getting out. So there was a website, rapabout.com, where we would try to learn how to do some breaking, techniques. And just finding someone who knew what the techniques were, the names of them, what they look like, or how to do them, they were hard to come by. So at that time, the idea of breaking, first of all, just finding other breakers, whether they were good or not, just finding other breakers and being able to have a global competition still was not something that, I even had access to and knew about. Then eventually I came across people who told me about Battle of the Year, Red Bull Lords of the Floor, Freestyle Session, and different websites came out, styletooth.com. Shout out to the French as well for that. And those have always been the staples for me for breaking culture. It might be different for others, but for me, like that's where you got to see the highest level of breaking. That's when we came across like the Korean scene and the Japanese scene and the French scene and German scene and world scene and all the other scenes. And it was incredible how people work so tirelessly and almost just to learn some of these techniques, but where was it all going? And as I've grown older in hip hop and with breaking as well, and just realizing that breaking is a part of me. The idea of being able to see a higher version of myself, understand style, understand art, understand how to connect with people, understand how to compete, understand how to, walk into a room of people and, you know, drop a routine, drop throwdown, and deliver yourself and carry yourself in that way. Like breaking for me was a blessing. It was an incredible thing. Still is, to this day. And just how it was a sobering moment to see the amazing dancers on stage, and just how breaking changed the Olympics, but Olympics is also changing breaking, but in a beautiful way. In that, what breaking was then to where it is now, like to have a set standard of like a 50-50 division. Women's breaking on one day, men's breaking on a different day. That's a beautiful thing of women not being overshadows. And I don't want to mansplain the whole thing and try say what a Bgirl struggle is. Speak to Bgirls. Find Jilu. Find so many other, female breakers who want to speak out on it. But I know what it's like to be ridiculed for loving breaking. When I was trying to get into it, they're like, "What does he think he's doing? He thinks he can break. What's going on?" So I'm trying to tie this all into watching Bgirl Raygun's performance of how this was a difficult thing to get into. Just getting breaking into the Olympics was tough enough. And for her loving hip hop the way that she does, because now a lot of Olympic athletes are not paid. A lot of it comes from maybe sponsorships. Like if you don't win a gold, it's a time commitment, and it's putting yourself up on the world stage, up for criticism and having to compete against the best, the most vicious competition ever. And behind a lot of the ridicule and jokes that people are making, remember there's a human being on the other side of this. And so many people thinking that they could have done better, but you haven't. You aren't an Olympian. You didn't sign up to do it. You didn't prepare for this chance to, go to this event and deliver. You didn't start breaking 16 years ago to get into it. So let's give people their respect. And it's amazing how everyone's a content creator these days. Everyone's got a joke to make. And sure, it's all going viral. But this, especially as a dancer, like for me, why you know, I I can't laugh at the jokes is breaking isn't a joke to me. This is a beautiful thing, and they've showed just a small piece of it in the Olympics, the one-on-one side, but like the ciphers, the crew battles, the camaraderie, and so many other things. It's like if we reduced other sports to the way breaking got treated, like let's say, for example, basketball, we took away the team aspect and we said, all right, guys, it's only going to be one-on-one to the hoop. That's it. That's basketball. That's everything. And like let's think of the basketball greats, Michael Jordans and what have you. It was because they had platforms where all of that talent could shine. So breaking first debut at the Olympics, let breaking get to the level of the NBA. Let like it's a beautiful, beautiful art form and sport. It's a lot of things, a culture, if you want it to be. And especially like the other thing I'm really into now is discussing mental health and ADHD, and how there's a strong tie with the type of personalities that you see, particularly in dance and art, ADHD. And sure, when maybe viewers who maybe don't know about dance in general watch it and you're expecting some, the peak human athleticism and the, whatever stereotype you have of an Olympic athlete, but to see that sport and getting physical and moving is a beautiful, beautiful thing. And don't let ridicule and people's judgment stop you from being the highest version of yourself. And I think dancing makes you better. Dancing makes you confident. Dancing lets you take on incredible challenges. Like just being an Olympic athlete is an incredible challenge. Just being around people like that and feeling that call in yourself, wake up, go, get to the battle, go to the battle. and not freezing up. And I actually thought her throwdowns were pretty good. I know what it's like to go against immeasurable competition, where your competition is just insane. And you're like, oh man, I'm going to get roasted. I'm going to get burned. What will I do? But for her to stand confidently and do her thing, I think was important, because she will then inspire other dancers who will take on the mantle after that. And I don't want to overshadow the incredible wins that Ami made, Nika made, Phil Wizard, Gan, Victor. It's this whole meme situation is now overshadowing what a massive success the event was. And breaking not going to the 2028 Olympics in LA for me is just my jaw dropped to the floor. Like, how can this be happening? What an amazing follow-up it would have been for breaking to be on that stage. However, though, going back, let's always remember and stay faithful to the staples in breaking. Let's stay loyal to supporting the events that don't see breaking as something provisional or as just a money maker, but your freestyle sessions, your battle of the years, your Red Bull BC1s that are all about hip hop and all about breaking. And let's not make breaking just an Olympic spectacle. Breaking is an incredible culture on its own. So even though it won't be at the LA 2028 Olympics, breaking doesn't need the Olympics. Not that I'm, all bitter and sour grapes. I probably am. And thanks to the Olympics for letting us be provisional, letting us, have a little bit of shine on the stage for a bit, and then, taking away. And whether we're at the LA 2028 or the Brisbane 2032, shout out to those who represented this time. But let's always remember the magic and the incredible things that breaking is not, the Olympics is not the be all and end all. So it just let us get our act more formalized, give proper female representation. Still not where it needs to be, but getting there. And just soaking all this in and just letting the thoughts settle. And just realizing that, okay, that was an amazing moment, but where shall we go from here? Okay, so those are my thoughts. Sunset Streamer, thanks for checking me out. When a rant needs to be ranted, that's when I get to business. So yeah, you take care of yourselves, and I have to give my condolences as well. On social media, B-Boy in Cape Town, B-Boy Ruben, unfortunately, amidst all this, passed away. And if there's any, I didn't know him personally, but if I can commemorate to him in any way, rest in power, sir. For we do our dance on the stage that is life, make our mark, and we leave memories to those who witnessed us. And on that note, we sign out.